So, after a delay or two, Uncharted has finally launched on PC. Approval rating is at 90% after 22 user reviews. Honestly, just kind of impressed I got here this early. Naughty Dog has officially jumped into the PC market, and it seems like they're taking it very seriously, which should make fans at the studio pretty excited, since now that they're working with more hardware, they can expand their user base and allow non-PlayStation gamers to experience their game.
Oh, he spiked his controller so hard!
While the release has been received very positively overall, there was a very predictable group of Sony fanboys, or PlayStation fanboys, or Naughty Dog fanboys, or just fucking weirdos who saw this as the absolute worst thing ever. If you're upset by a game you like, made by a company you like, getting ported to another platform, you have swing sets for brains. And here we are in 2022 and I'm in the fucking swing set factory. I got a PlayStation 4 just to play this game, and now it's playable everywhere. Felt good buying this at the time, exclusive PlayStation. I hope you know what you're doing. Damn, you got a PS4 to play Uncharted? So wouldn't you agree that it would have been awesome if you didn't have to do that? I mean, good on you for, I guess, feeling good about paying 5 times the cost of a game just to play the game, but that doesn't change the fact that it's super fucking lame. You can feel really good about somebody peeing in your cereal. It doesn't change the fact that you probably shouldn't eat it after that. PlayStation gamers shouldn't even buy PlayStation games anymore, since from now on, they're just gonna keep giving the PC the better versions. And yeah, Uncharted might look amazing on PC, but it still doesn't change the fact that people are going to pirate the game. The piracy point is an interesting one here, given the fact that Uncharted was really big during the pre-owned game phase. Remember in the PS3 and PS4 days when pre-owned games and fucking GameStop were at their absolute peak? Like, how many of you Uncharted players actually bought a brand new copy of Uncharted? All 4 of them. Like, be honest. Also, what percentage of PC gamers do you think actually pirate games? Like, do you think that percentage is more or less than the number of console gamers who have bought games pre-owned? And on top of all that, what are you suggesting? You're upset that Sony is giving the, quote, better version of games to PC players, but if the platform is technically superior, what's the alternative to that? Are you upset about the PC port part, or are you upset about the better hardware part? Because if you're a fan of the game and not of a corporation, neither one of those should bother you. According to IGN, the best native port is still on PS5. Yeah, I watched that breakdown. Interestingly, it also showed a number of examples of the PC version being leagues better than the PS5 version. See, I can show screenshots too. Here's one, and here's another, and here's another. But let's just talk about this screenshot that you attached to your tweet. This is the PS5's best effort against a PC with an RTX 2070 running at 4K high settings. Friendly reminder that the RTX 2070 came out in October of 2018. It is a 4-year-old card. So just so we're clear, the PC version in this comparison is running a much more demanding graphical output, one that a vast majority of PC players are not going to utilize. Most people are still playing at 1080p or 1440p on PC, and there's nothing wrong with that. And again, the commentator in this IGN video says multiple times that he was running an RTX 2070, a 4-year-old card. The fact that the PC shown in this comparison is only about a dozen frames behind the PS5's best case scenario is really more of a statement about how solid this port is. Have fun playing on PC, just remember PS5 is the better option. Rewind the video to the 3rd tweet, please. Good job, PlayStation, bringing all your exclusives to PC. Keep going. So PS6 will be a digital platform/service, right? As there will be no need for a console since you went down this road, and now a lot less people have an incentive to buy a PlayStation console. And then 3 clapping emojis, like you just said something really special. I mean, you say all this while literally having PS5 in your username, and you don't seem to realize that that's actually really weird. Do you seriously think that just because Sony is releasing games on the PC, that means they're going to walk away from their own hardware? Sony is fully aware of the fact that there will always be people who prefer playing on a console over a PC. And as long as there are 2 sets of hardware, there will be people who buy one, people who buy the other, and some people who buy both. So if you're Sony here, and you publish your own first-party games, why wouldn't you maximize your reach here? You know by now that the PC audience is always going to be separate from the console audience and vice versa, as evidenced by all these people responding to the tweets who are obviously allergic to the idea of playing on anything but a console. specifically a PlayStation. So why not make things easier for everyone and increase your buying pool? It amazes me that tweets like this one literally break themselves in half and they don't notice it. You're suggesting that the PS6 shouldn't even exist in the way that the PS5 does simply because Sony has less exclusive games. But by doing that, you're admitting that there is a distinction between the audiences. The PC is not a console and thus is not part of the console marketplace or ecosystem. That's never going to change. So why shouldn't Sony capitalize on this? PS5 better. Rewind the video to the third tweet, please. That's it, that seals the deal. I'm no longer want to be an PlayStation fan and absolute disgrace lineup of the games yet again. I will no longer buy their new PlayStation. I'm taking my fandom to the Xbox Series X. They got superior lineup of exclusives and better graphics. Wait, Sony has an absolute disgrace lineup of games in response to a PC port of a game that already existed. As PlayStation fans, we don't care about this PC port crap. We supported the PlayStation brand to play games on the PlayStation platform, not PC. And you can still play this new version of Uncharted on the PS5. It's literally available on both. And it's a Sony IP, so Sony is making money off of it and using that money to make more games in the future. Isn't that what you wanted? You say you supported the PlayStation brand so you can play more PlayStation games, but you somehow don't think the PlayStation brand being expanded supports that endeavor. Cool. Bruh, no one cares. Show us Spider-Man 2.
I want Spider-Man!
PlayStation equals PC every day. Ryan Herman Holst, go home. From an account literally called Forbidden West. It honestly worries me sometimes how dedicated some people are to this platform. Sony has spit in your face so many times and just expected you to go along with whatever they say, and somehow you people still do it. Remember the price of the PS3 being a ridiculous $600? Which is almost $900 today, the PS3. Remember the price raise of the PS5, despite hardly anyone being able to get one in the first place? Remember them blocking crossplay and cross progression on the PS4 for no other reason than just fuck you, buy a PlayStation? And have you been paying attention to what they've been doing the last few months with being absolute hypocrites over exclusivity in the console market? Trying to prevent a studio acquisition because potential exclusivity is bad, but then literally ensuring exclusivity on their own platform for the same exact games.
You have a lot of nerve coming in here. You have a lot of nerve being alive.
This company spits in your face at every opportunity, and you're still going to be their cheerleader. It amazes me. Nobody cares, you sold out. What? Neglecting your core fan base will lead to your downfall. I mean, PS5 owners still get all the same games that they were going to get. The only difference is now more people also can buy them and give them money. In what way are they neglecting their core fan base? You already bought their console. They don't owe you anything. All they promised was a console and some games. You're still getting that. This isn't a case of neglecting the core audience. This is a case of expanding the possible buying public, which is literally how you grow your business in an open market. Never going to happen with a middle finger emoji. This is healthy. This is really healthy. Worst anti-consumer company. Because releasing previously exclusive games on another platform so more people can play it and not be forced into buying a $500 plastic box that they otherwise didn't want. That's anti-consumer. Okay. Fuck you, Sony. It's a joke. Only for PlayStation. Yes, the PlayStation is the only console you can play it on. That's still the case. If that's really what's so important to you, it's still the case. But also, why is that a selling point? Why are you so obsessed with content being withheld from other platforms? If the content doesn't actually change from platform to platform, what is the issue with expanding the audience? Look, if you want the PlayStation to be the bestest platform ever, you're going to have to let them spread their wings a bit. I swear, you people ask Sony to give you more games, but then yell at them when they try to increase their revenue in order to do so. You ask Sony to be a creatively driven publisher and, a really developer-first publisher, but then you cry when they do something that the developers have been asking them to do. You ask Sony for exclusive content for the PlayStation, so they give you that, but then you bitch and whine when they decide to make some extra dough with a game that you already played and still isn't on other consoles. I mean, you guys clearly weren't going to buy a PC, and then the PC guys clearly weren't going to buy a PlayStation, so what is the harm? No matter what Sony does, and no matter what happens throughout the industry, people are always going to root for their favorite plastic box. I get that. But what I'll never understand is the tunnel vision that keeps these people from ever branching out, or even attempting to understand why the giant corporation does what it does. Nor will I understand why they think the giant corporation gives a singular fuck what you think. More games going to more platforms benefits literally everyone involved. Sony benefits because money. PC gamers benefit because games. And PlayStation gamers benefit because Sony gets money for games. You're welcome for explaining basic fucking economics. Now go outside.